Hey guys, I want to welcome you to the weekly Wednesday for the Financial Freedom newsletter, where every week, every Wednesday, we delve into something inspirational, motivational, something excerpt taken from the Financial Freedom weekly newsletter. Wherever you are, if you're listening on Spotify, on iTunes, Google, be sure to click the like, subscribe, share, comment. And without ado, let's get into the show. Hey guys, welcome to this week's podcast episode for the Financial Freedom Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Christopher Liu, and today I have a very special guest, Kavin Patel, and he's a two-time entrepreneur. He's the founder at Convrrt, and it's the white label landing page builder used by top SaaS companies. I'm always in the market for fresh ideas, talent, and people on the cutting edge. So I'm happy to welcome Kevin to the show. Welcome.
Nice to meet you. How are you doing today?
Good. We connected through Podmatch, and today's going to be talking all about software as a service, tech entrepreneurship. Tell the audience how you got started, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. It kind of just started in college, honestly, just really trying to figure out what I wanted to do growing up. Parents were wanting me to become a dentist or a doctor or engineer. Usually those are the three that you pick from. And wasn't too good at OChem. So I was just like, this isn't for me. So didn't become the doctor that the parents wanted me to. But, I was really more engaged in, the .com era. In like the early 2000 era. And one of my really good friends, Drew, who is now my co-founder in Convrrt, basically sent out an email saying, hey, I have this idea of starting something on the internet. Don't know what it is, but if you're interested, meet me out in front of the library. And I was the only one that showed up. And so that was the beginning of our, you can say, like, hustle of making something on the internet. And we started off by creating websites, doing design work, and that's what kind of led us into SaaS, because I feel like what happened is, like, you're tired of the service providing all day, and so the next best thing is to probably go into SaaS, and it's 10 times harder, but you end up kind of having more fun on just creating your own product and growing from there. And so, that's kind of how I got my start.
Yeah. Interesting. For the audience, tell them what Convrrt is, and kind of go into detail.
Yeah. So when we were helping companies do online marketing, we knew right away conversion was big, right? Really trying to understand, what is it going to take for someone to fill out a piece of form on your page? And then once you have that, how are you going to actually turn them into a customer, like collect their information? And that's like a journey and like a process, or, the sales term playbook that you just need to understand for your product or service that you provide. And so what ended up happening from there was that we got into creating a lot of landing pages. And what landing pages are is it's like a micro website. It's not, you don't send people from like an ad that they click on or from an email that they get to your website. Usually you want to send them to a landing page that is very specialized and crafted to that offer that you're presenting to them. And when you do that, your conversions are typically high. So we became really specialized in landing pages and conversion. And we just thought we would build our own tool. We thought we would just build it in-house for us and our account managers to use to manage landing pages for our customers. And like I mentioned, towards the end, we were kind of just, getting burnt out of the service side. So we're like, okay, let's see if we can maybe sell this tool. Maybe there's different agencies or SaaS companies who may be interested in this product. So instead of going to the consumers, like the small businesses where they would maybe pay $50, $100 a month, we're like, let's just go straight to the top. Let's just try to find actual large SaaS companies who would want to license this technology and embed it within their product so that they don't have to spend like a year, 2 years building this. They don't have to spend millions of dollars investing in resources to build this. And that's what actually worked for us, is that instead of going D2C, we went B2B, and we just licensed the tech and we got them to market a lot quicker. They were driving more revenue quicker. And that's what kind of just helped us. We were bootstrapped, self-financed, everything. So that's kind of like what led to our business model is like kind of pivoting from, instead of going to the consumer, let's go to the top and see if we can get them to embed it.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. And one thing that I love about I love when Mark Andreessen said that software is eating the world, and you're seeing this play out in real time. And this idea where you're talking about now software as a service. So people that haven't heard of that or kind of need to expand, and tell you how you increase customer loyalty and advocacy among your SaaS user base.
Yeah, our customer base is again just large SaaS companies. They're basically just software companies. Software companies primarily in like the CRM or marketing automation space. So you may have heard of like these big players like Salesforce or Freshworks. And what they do is they provide a CRM and marketing automation tool that they provide to their end consumers, right? And so for us, it was really just about how do we build that relationship with the product manager and kind of the customer support team within their organization. And so for us, when it comes to customer loyalty, it's really building that relationship with that kind of the key stakeholders within that organization, and just making them feel that this product is really providing value to their end customers. And so a lot of the time, we're just having to basically do ongoing webinar education for their end consumers, like how to use these tools properly, or how does it work with other digital marketing efforts. The other times, it's really just like providing them updates on what's to come, kind of staying ahead of the curve of like, hey, we've heard X amount of other customers talk about this feature. We thought it would be a good fit for you. So, would you be interested in rolling this out to your customers? And, 9 out of 10 times, they're really excited because we're helping them kind of manage their product roadmap at their point. And that's where like kind of like that loyalty comes in, is that instead of looking this as like a customer type of thing, it's like a partnership, right? They rely on us to help manage their product roadmap when it comes to like the lead acquisition features. And so it's really up to us to provide that data and knowledge to them so that they can accelerate both their marketing efforts or sales efforts and go-to-market strategy.
Yeah. And I love that. And talk about scalability, because, a lot of doctors on here, they listen to this, they work crazy hours, and they have no time, but tell kind of expand like why technology you're able to leverage, platforms, SaaS, and you actually get network effects, exponential effects.
Yeah. So when it comes to scaling, I think there's really two sides, right? There's like scaling your own company, and then there's making sure the product itself scales. When it comes to the scaling the company side, we had a lot of bottlenecks early on. Like I mentioned, being bootstrapped, you have to be careful on like every dollar you spend. And engineers, really good ones start off at 100K here in the States. And so, we could probably only afford maybe half of one early on. And how much work can you really get done with that? So we had to get creative. Like we went offshores. We spent, I would say, close to 2 to 3 years just trying to build the core product team. Finding the right culture, the right resources that know your tech stack, really having a passion to want to really solve the problem that we're trying to solve. So that was the first part. And again, like that isn't easy. Like, again, we spent like 3 years just really trying to figure that out. And once we got that team put together, we were then able to make the product scale. Like we built it so it's like a multi-tenant system. It's very easy to configure each organization that comes in. We don't have a lot of overhead like resources when it comes to like the infrastructure side. And so now we're at a point where we are entering what you may heard of like PLG, like a product-led growth model that would allow people to come directly to the website and sign up themselves and set up their own instance and everything instead of going through the whole traditional book a demo piece. And so there's like that scalability even on the marketing and sales effort that comes with that. And so again, for us, it was really just getting that team put together in the very beginning. And that's what helped us get the product out. And then that's what helped us scale the sales and marketing efforts.
Yeah, I love that. You have a lot of expertise. And what's the connection between? Yeah, and you talked earlier on. You talked about bootstrapped, and so what are some advantages of being, bootstrapping versus outside capital? Kind of expand upon that.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I really like to talk about is when you're bootstrapped, it really forces you to get out there and try to sell the product, right? Like that's the only way you're going to live, basically, or keep the lights on in the office. You don't have revenue coming in. I mean, this product is going to die. So it like kind of holds that a level of accountability, I guess you can say, to make you get out there. And that's what we did. I mean, like if I looked at some of my LinkedIn messages or outbound emails and phone calls, like it was probably at least in the 300-400s, which was like the span over a year, maybe a year and a half of just like really crafting this to like top C-level people. Where until someone finally hit, like it just took that one contract to finally get us to like, start putting food on our table, my other co-founders' table, and then like start hiring resources from there. Whereas with funding, I mean, like we haven't taken funding on, but from the peers that I've talked to, it's really easy to, be able to make bigger bets, sure. But like, sometimes you rely on different mediums for that customer acquisition, which is like maybe paid ads or those types of verticals, like maybe like building out a partnership team. But what's more important is actually trying to get out on the field and try to meet these people, listen to their pain problems, and like pivot off of that. And so that's what helped us, I think, with being bootstrapped is like we really were forced to listen to these pain problems and solve for it. And now we're really trying to scale. And so now for me, it makes sense to maybe look at funding because we have a model that's working. And the idea is, okay, if we take some funding and maybe scale up other avenues in sales and marketing, can we double, triple, 4x this over time? And so, that's what made sense for us. And if we were to do it again, we'd probably still do the same way.
I love hearing, these stories about, Facebook and Coinbase and all these. And the other thing is talking about building a tech company, a startup. There's there's always plateaus, and you get your product market fit, then you raise your Series A. Talk about practical advice on how companies in various series stages can break past their plateau.
One thing that I've seen is, after kind of like this whole correction in the market, a lot of companies started to scale back on their spending, and they're really trying to get core on their objectives and mission. And a lot of that also has reflected on what type of vendors they work with. I think we're coming to a part where like, SaaS companies were always big on trying to build IP in-house. There was always this mantra, like, we got to build it, we got to build it, we got to own the IP. And like really quickly you see and understand that, like you're not always going to be good at everything. Like there's going to be some people who specialize in those certain things. Like for lead acquisition tools, go to Convrrt. For analytic tools, go to maybe Keen.io. And so what we're seeing now is that, software companies want to see a really quick proof of concept to see if this is going to work within like days. And if they are, they're ready to make that commitment and pay. And so where we are is like we're trying to really make this product so that it can open it up to like project managers, to engineers, to basically allow them to like spin up their own staging and production environment and just test it in house, like with a couple of customers. And if it works from there, that's what kind of leads them to like upgrade to the next package and buy something. And so I think when it comes to that plateau piece, you're sometimes seeing it on like sales, marketing, or a lot of the time even on product side. Like you're not iterating or delivering new value or feature that your customers are asking for. And that's where you can look at, the partnership side of things is like, is there a vendor out there that we can partner with that is going to allow us to get out maybe in 30 to 60, 90 days instead of us spending, 1 to 2 years trying to build this. And I think that's where you could break through on the product side. And then when you have that product piece solved for, then you can, deliver your sales and marketing efforts, which should, break you through that plateau of revenue.
Yeah. As we come to the end, you have this idea of, advice for early stage SaaS startups. You tell them to stop building everything. What do you mean by that?
Look at Google. How many features has Google released, and how many like of them have you heard that they've shut down? Right? Like, I mean, like we get in this part where we're like features, but a lot of the time it's just like there's that one core feature that is like one or two things of your overall platform that is driving 90% of your revenue. Stay focused on that. And if you want to make bets on other things, find other vendors that are really good at it and see if you could get to market a lot quicker. And I guarantee you it's going to be like 20 times cheaper than you doing it yourself.
Yeah, I love that. How can people contact you, follow you, reach out to you?
Yeah, I'm really active on LinkedIn right now. Kavin Patel, company is Convrrt. It's spelled CO. We bought it back in the 2000s when it was cool to spell your name wrong. So yeah, we're active on LinkedIn, and we'd like to connect there.
Yeah. And for all the audience out there listening, Kevin, for this fantastic conversation. Very rarely do you get to hear from SaaS tech entrepreneur founders, and really great. All of the resources will be in the links and show notes. And with that, thanks so much for coming on to the podcast.
I appreciate it. Thanks again.
I hope you really enjoyed that wonderful, inspirational, motivational piece. Again, wherever you are listening, if you liked it, be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. We're on everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, Google, Amazon, Audible. And without much ado, be sure to thank this show's sponsors, and we'll see you next week.